Hey everyone, one day, me and a friend were using Monarque and Crucible, and I thought, this is actually a really fun weapon to use and it's not all that bad either. I wonder how good the other exotic bows are. So that's how me and the channel owner, Hunter, got the video idea. How good are exotic bows now? Anyways, let's get into the video. Something to mention before we start the video is that all bows have no damage drop off, but there are still some effects on them at long range. We'll first cover how you can get all the bows mentioned in part 1 before the in-depth part of the video. Monarque is bought from the Memorial to Lost Lights kiosk. Please note that you must own Forsaken to buy Monarque. You must earn an Ascendant Shard, an Exotic Cipher, 125 to 150k Glimmer, some enhanced prisms, and lastly some world materials. Exotic Ciphers drop from the Season Pass, Observe Weekly Quests, occasional special quests. You can get Trinity Ghoul from exotic engrams or whenever Zerg is selling it. No expenses are required for Trinity Ghoul. Now let's get into the main part of the video, the in-depth analysis. First, we decided to run some tests on Monarque, since that's the bow we were using when we got this idea. In our testing, we observed that Monarque does 2 different damage numbers for body and precision damage each. When you trigger Poison Arrow, the impact is slightly more damage, which is separate from the actual ticking damage. If you fully draw but lose Poison Arrow, Monarque will do slightly less damage. When fully drawn without the Poison Arrow, the impact does 95 body damage and 143 precision. With the Poison Arrow effect, the impact does 101 body and 152 precision. Again, this is separate from the actual Poison Arrow tick. The tick happens as soon as the shot is hit and does 8 ticks of 3 poison damage over 1 to 2 seconds, doing a total of 125 and 174 precision. This is just shy of being able to one-tap a Guardian at low resilience. Any damage buff will allow you to one-tap headshot if you trigger Poison Arrow. If you keep the bow drawn too long, the Poison Arrow effect will be removed. It only lasts for the first second or so of fully drawing it. When you have Poison Arrow, precision hits spread the poison damage in a cloud around the target. This is its exotic perk. It also has Snapshot Sights as an added bonus, and it has a draw time of 684. Overall, I see the Monarque as a high damage dealing, easy, and fun to use great bow. In my opinion, it's the best exotic bow for Crucible, potentially tied, as we'll show later, as it has great kill potential and an easy way to spread damage in an area. Plus, it'll stop recovery while the target is poisoned. If you stack it with a damage buff, you have one great one-tapping butterfly bow. Also, Le Monarque means the monarch, as in the monarch butterfly in French, in case you didn't know. With that out of the way, let's move on to everyone's favorite arcchain bow, Trinity Ghoul. You probably think there's no way this bow could be good in Crucible. It's a PvE weapon, right? Well, rest assured, my fellow servants of the Great Machine, it is definitely viable in PvP. It may not be top-notch or up there with some of the other great primaries, but it still packs quite a punch. When it comes to damage numbers, it's a bit of an anomaly. That is to say, the damage, for whatever reason, tends to vary quite a bit. When you hit a body shot, there's a chance it'll do either 3 sets of 33 damage or 3 sets of 35 damage. When you hit a headshot, there's a chance it'll do either 3 sets of 49 damage or 3 sets of 52 damage. Keep in mind that Trinity Ghoul fires 3 arrows at once, and each set of arrows will have one of the 2 damage numbers as a whole. The damage won't vary per arrow, rather per arrow set. Theoretically, some of the arrows from one burst could hit precision on one target while the others don't, but in practice, that never happens, as all the arrows fired are fired at the same time and perfectly aligned horizontally. Its other perk, Lightning Rod, is that when you get a precision kill and reload, you get a buff called Lightning Rod. This buff allows you to chain lightning to nearby enemies and also gives a small damage buff to direct hits. This buff lingers on weapon switch and will stay until the next arrow is used or until death. The next set of arrows will have Lightning Rod bonus damage that will appear separate from the arrow's impact and would do 3 sets of 9 to 11 damage on body shots and 3 sets of 10 damage on headshots. After this, the Lightning Rod buff will be removed. When lightning damage is chained, it will do 51 damage per lightning arrow. You shoot 3 arrows at once, so you'll be chaining 3 lightning arrows per shot, doing 3 sets of 51 damage. Now let's talk about its catalyst. A quick note is that without the catalyst, the draw time is 756, but with the catalyst, it goes down to 648, which is good. You can get it by completing playlist activities like Strikes, Crucible, and Gambit. You can complete it by getting 400 enemies killed in PvE, or 100 kills in PvP. If you have it completed, you may be wondering, does this ability actually work in PvP? And trust me, it does. If you don't know what this catalyst does, it makes it so that you can trigger lightning rod damage from any arc damage final blow from any source. This means you can kill someone with Trinity Ghoul without precision, your arc heavy, arc supers, or arc abilities, and they will all trigger lightning rod. You can even kill someone with a kinetic weapon while osmosis is triggered while you have an arc subclass equipped, or even from things like Vesper, Radius, Warlock, Exotic, Arc Shockwave. Now you know exactly how Trinity Ghoul works, but it still does have some drawbacks. It can be pretty hard to hit all your shots at a distance since it spreads into 3 arrows that grow farther apart at farther distances. ADSing and fully drawing can help, but it will still be extremely difficult to hit all your shots at long range. In my opinion, Trinity Ghoul is a fine weapon, but it can be hard to secure kills at a slightly farther distance compared to other bows, and the split arrow is more of a curse than a blessing as it makes it much harder to hit all your shots. I see Trinity Ghoul as more of a weapon I would want to stay away from, as it's incredibly inconsistent, but I might pull it out occasionally just to have some chain lightning fun. It's certainly usable, but it's not the kind of bow I would want to use very often, but it may suit others' playstyles better. Again, this is just my opinion, so feel free to make your own judgment based on the information we've provided. Well, that concludes the video. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can be notified when we release part 2. This took a long time to make and get footage for, so it would be great if you could drop a like. Thank you. As always, have a great day.